Hello and welcome. Good to have you join us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Lydia Bassi. The President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, has described as baseless and unfounded media report that the leadership of the National Assembly was denied access to the presidential villa. The Senate President refuted the report while speaking to journalists after a dinner with President Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
It was 9 o'clock Thursday evening and dinner was served at the official residence of President Muhammadu Buhari. On the table were the Nigerian leader, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Senate President Bukola Saraki, and Speaker Yakubu Dogara. Others include the President's Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari, and the Presidential Aides on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Enang and Kao Sumaila. As they began to enjoy their meals, news reports suddenly went viral on the social media that the leadership of the National Assembly was denied access to the State House, and President Muhammadu Buhari did not find it amusing.
I apologize for this.
And NTA News sought to know from the Senate President his reaction on the matter.
We had dinner with the President, and I'm sure that in the next few days we'll be here with a bigger team. Look, you know the media always feast on those kind of stories. Let's face the major issues that are important before us. We had fruitful discussion.
The Senate President did not give further details on the national issues discussed with the President. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Barely 3 weeks to the Anambra governorship election, an election observation group is calling for concerted efforts to voter education to have a smooth and peaceful conduct of the process. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Birnin Kudu has details.
In a pre-election observation mission, the group Youth Initiative for Advocacy, Growth and Advancement deployed observers in the 21 local government areas and followed campaigns of the 37 candidates in the race. Based on its findings, the group advised INEC, political parties and civil society to intensify voter education, especially among women and persons with disability.
It's a voter education program and messaging targeted at special interests and marginalized groups. Here includes youth, women, and people with disability is absent.
Since are enthusiastic about the elections, and so we would like to caution that the security deployment for Anambra should be professional, it should be moderate, and we do not hope to see an election that is over-militarized or over-policed.
The election observers encourage candidates and the media to abstain from using hate speeches as 2 violence cases were recorded in 2 local government areas. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Birnin Kudu, NTA News.
The Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, has cautioned leaders in the Northeast against the mismanagement of the newly created Northeast Development Commission. He was speaking when he granted audience to a delegation from Bama led by Alhaji Shehu Kyari Umar Ibn Ibrahim El Kanemi. Ignatius Nkwo has details.
The Speaker, who commended President Muhammadu Buhari for signing into law the Northeast Development Commission, said that them by the President and members of the National Assembly. He advised them to ensure that the recurrence of what happened in the past is avoided through a communal effort.
And I know that even the President was urged not to even sign this bill into law. But I guess he saw the plight of the people and that he's been told of the level of devastation in that zone. And since this current efforts is not enough, that would never be enough to address the challenges, if these interventions are left at the level of policy, any subsequent government that comes that doesn't love our people that much will just with a stroke of pen like this, just strike the policy out.
Similarly, the Speaker has emphasized the need to provide a legal platform for youth participation in governance. The Deputy Majority Whip of the House, Pali Riase, who represented the Speaker stressed this at the public hearing by the House Committee on Youth Development on a bill for an act to establish the National Youth Development Commission and the National Youth Welfare Scheme Fund.
This bill seeks to offer a legal platform to the youth in this country to participate fully in the mainstream of governance.
The bill seeks to establish a commission with a supervisory and interventional role in providing assistance to states and local governments in Nigeria for the purpose of maintaining uniform youth programs.
Chairman of the committee, Representative Alexander Adekola, noted that the passage of the bills will enhance self-discipline, national consciousness and values among Nigerian youths. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In another development, strategies to revitalize Nigeria's ethics and values as symbol of unity were laid bare for discussion at a joint visit on the Nigerian Television Authority by the House of Representatives Committee on Information and Civil Society for Ethics and Values Initiative. Abdullahi Aminu reports.
The meeting focused on the political agitations by diverse communities and groups in Nigeria. It also served as a platform to brainstorm on challenges threatening the country's unity.
All these antisocial behaviors, they are ravaging our nation, economically, socially, politically, and it is telling on the unity.
At this time that we're talking about restructuring, it is time to start talking about ethics and value so that we return back to basics.
The Director News Nigerian Television Authority Aliyu Bababarao highlighted on the effects of a society with weak ethical foundation and values. He stressed that projecting Nigeria's ethics and values remain a reference point of the Nigerian Television Authority.
What we need is groups like you, the National Assembly, and other agencies of government and non-governmental organizations to revive those values. And NTA has always been in the forefront.
The joint initiative visit to NTA seek collaboration ahead of the National Summit on Ethics and Values Reformation with a view to strengthening unity and patriotism. Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Participants at the just concluded NTA ETV Expo held in Abuja have expressed faith that Nigeria can overcome its development challenges if attention is devoted to innovation and creativity by the younger generation. Speaking on NTA program Good Morning Nigeria, some of the students said the expo is a platform that should be sustained. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The 11th edition of the NTA ETV Art, Science and Technology exhibition drew participants from different schools across the country. This edition of the expo focused on finding local innovations geared towards enhancing Nigeria's diversification drive through agriculture. Oloba Mofiyin Folua, a student of Hallmark Secondary School, Ondo State, developed solar hydrator, while Omoyele Victory from Hill City College in Kwara State invented a parabolic thrust solar. Similarly, Ahmed Jibril Musa from Government Technical College in Bauchi State came up with a hand-driven sprayer. All of them share their inspirations.
Solar tent dehydrator. Let's imagine a situation. If every farmer enacts that project into their farms, I can tell you that there will be zero infestation, contamination of feed, and pollution, because it's a short bet, especially this period where we are trying to diversify our economy.
Generally, we should deviate from our so-called petroleum, because this petroleum is taking us nowhere. Like actually now, based on statistics, they said in the next years now, the reserve of Nigeria oil will soon be over, and now Nigerians will go back to agriculture. So instead of us waiting for the time the oil reservoir will finish, we should go back to agriculture and start working on farms, different types of innovation.
I sit down and think of a way for the farmers in our area to see that they save their time and energy in order to plant and also to spray the insecticide, so that at the end of the year, when the palm product is being out, so you can use it, you can, after planting in large scale, so we can use it and we can use it in our own country and also export it to the other country.
General Manager of NTA Educational Television, Antoinette Falohun, noted that this year's expo was unique with outstanding projects. She urged critical agencies of government to give the innovations desired push.
We are contacting some of the relevant agencies. Basically, they will key in next year, but would show them what we have done this year to promote it. I am really, really appreciative of those that have already keyed into what we are doing, and the international organizations inclusive that have to do with children like UNICEF and co. are happy about those who have keyed in already.
The young inventors restated their belief in Nigeria and said they were ready to contribute their quota to national development. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The future is bright. Moving on, the National University Commission, NUC, has added to the number of Nigerian universities with the approval for the takeoff of the Gombe State University of Science and Technology. Ogechi Paul covered the brief but far-reaching event which attracted the elite class from Gombe and neighboring states.
This is the symbolic presentation of the strategic document that sought the establishment of the Gombe State University of Science and Technology, which law was accented to in August 2017. Governor Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambo says the institution, as a specialized one, will complement the existing one to cushion perennial carrying capacity challenges as well as address other manpower needs of the state and the country.
It is gratifying to note that in Gombe State, we have successfully reoriented and redirected the thinking of the majority of our youth to pursue education, which is the bedrock for the development of any society.
Executive Secretary NUC Professor Abdul Rashid Adamu notes that the Commission will not compromise standards in its determination to support any serious initiative to establish a university, particularly specialized ones.
I write on behalf of the National Universities Commission, NUC, to inform Your Excellency that with effect from Thursday, 26 October 2017, the Gombe State University of Science and Technology, Kumo, was being recognized as
towards achieving a world-class institution, Representative Akko Federal Constituency and the Speaker, Gombe State House of Assembly, said the quantum of legislative work that attended the university bill was legendary.
It is a university that is being created out of a need. So it has a focus, it has a vision, it has a purpose.
The bill for the establishment of this university is amongst the richest bill we passed in Gombe State House of Assembly.
This development brings to 154 the number of universities in Nigeria and the 46th owned by state governments. Ogechi Paul, NTA News.
We now pause for some messages. Nationwide continues in a moment. Stay with us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There is no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Thank you so much for inspiring greatness in me, Alaji.
Alaji?
I am just rehearsing, dear.
Rehearsing for what?
A life-changing and inspiring meeting.
With who?
Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
With the FGNI app and just 500 Naira, you stand a chance to meet one-on-one with Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man. As the Be Inspired meetings give Nigerians a chance to meet one-on-one with icons. To qualify for the draw, download FGNI app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Go to the Be Inspired section and follow the instructions. Cost of travel and accommodation of all winners within Nigeria will be borne by the organizers.
Entries close at midnight on Sunday, 12th of November 2017.
Terms and conditions apply.
It is the biggest gathering of African filmmakers. Wow! African International Movie Summit, AFRIMS 2017.
Comes up on the 30th and 31st of October 2017 at Merit's House, Maitama, Abuja, Nigeria. The theme is African Cinema, now that digital switchover is here. AFRIMS 2017, galvanizing the African motion picture practitioners.
Organized by 6 Media Lane Consult Limited
and Nigerian Film Corporation in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. For partnership, participation, and sponsorship, please call the following numbers: 08036562634, 08188833674, 070525586, 08037058540, or visit www.afrimsummit.com, www.afrimsummit.org, or email us at info@afrimsummit.com. This event is supported by
The Coastal Week.
7 captivating events, 7 special venues over 7 days. 777.
The Coastal Week.
Music everywhere across the city.
The Coastal Week.
Happiness everywhere across the land.
The Coastal Week.
October 29 to November 4, 2017.
The Coastal Week.
Scintillating, spectacular, incredible.
The Coastal Week.
Don't miss the fun. October 29 to November 4, 2017. Brought to you by Cosan. Let the music pay in association with Tops, the entertainment headquarters.
So wish me well. Just wish.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped. We are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime. We bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
Welcome back. It's still nationwide. Thank you for being there. The federal government says it remains open to partnerships and collaborations with the private sector to build infrastructure and make necessary progress in the economy. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, while receiving a delegation of the U.S. Africa Business Center, said the Buhari administration is committed to the private sector leading the way in the economy. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has details.
The Vice President said the dependence on the private sector was important as government has limited resources to provide all the people needed. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said what the federal and state governments have been trying to do was to create an environment that makes it easy for the private sector to do business. Leader of the delegation, Scott Esner, says some of the center's 3 million corporate membership are interested in investing in the Nigerian economy, especially in the ICT sector.
The expanding youth population here, there's a willing and able workforce that understands where technology's role is in the world today. And so companies like IBM and Microsoft are trying to hire and train 25 million African students over the next couple of years to get that workforce where they need to be, so the skills are in Africa, so they can develop the next generation of technology, where AI and the artificial intelligence is going to come from, is this continent, and we need to find that leadership now.
Also the collaboration that we want to have with Nigeria and Africa in general, to see how we can make it beneficial for both parties, US companies with African companies, how to develop that relationship and also make sure that we assist in terms of ICT, infrastructure and all the rest.
Governor Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State was also at the villa and comments on development of micro, small and medium enterprises in the state.
Everybody now places proudly Abia, proudly Aba, proudly Nigeria on his way. I mean, if our youths are happy doing what they are doing, then we've started something.
It would be recalled that the Vice President, during his presentation at the London Financial Times African Summit, where some American investors were present, advised foreign investors to avail themselves of the opportunity in the Nigerian economy to invest in the areas of their choice. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Sensitization on neonatal deaths in Edo State as Governor Obaseki inaugurates Boundary Committee. Details of these and more as we make our first call in Benin with Agatha. Hello Agatha, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Lydia. Good evening and a warm welcome to Benin. The Minister of State for Niger Delta Affairs, Professor Claudius Daramola, says functional education is the panacea for national development and must be sustained in Nigeria to guide against system breakdown. This was at the first Ondo State Education Summit with the theme, Repositioning Education for Functionality and Technology Growth. Doris Ulumoko reports.
The two-day Ondo State Education Summit was put in place to address some prominent challenges that have bedeviled the education sector and hinder the development of human capacity, social and economic development.
The society is dynamic. Therefore, the educational system must keep up along this pace.
We have a big challenge, and I think education can change everything. It can put us in a better pedestrian in this state.
Stakeholders at the summit are of the opinion that functionality in education with special emphasis on technology and entrepreneurship are some of the goals to be achieved in repositioning the sector.
It's going to require hard work, it's going to require dedication, it's going to require a resolve that it is doable, it is attainable, it is achievable, and it is surmountable.
At the end of the summit, it is expected that the Ondo State education sector will be repositioned for better performance and optimal results. In Akure, Doris Ulumoko, NTA News.
And in Delta State, the government has proposed a budget estimate of over 298 billion naira for the 2018 fiscal year. The state governor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, made the presentation to lawmakers in Asaba. Austin Edemodo reports that the 2018 budget proposal shows an increase of 3.62 billion naira, representing 1.21% compared to the 2017 approved budget of 294.4 billion naira.
The 2018 budget estimate, christened Budget of Hope and Consolidation, has over 147.4 billion naira, representing 49.48% as recurrent expenditure, and over 150.5 billion naira, representing 50.52% as capital expenditure. The main sources of funds for the 2018 budget, as presented by the governor, will include internally generated revenue estimate of over 71 billion naira. Governor Kowa said 2017 budget witnessed 71% performance in spite of the economic recession.
We are hopeful that the federal government will put measures in place to enforce the directive to oil companies to locate their head offices in their areas of operation.
A further breakdown of the 2018 budget estimates indicates that the health sector is allocated 6.6 billion naira, agriculture 1.6 billion naira, job creation 1.2 billion naira, while Delta State Capital Development Authority has 3 billion naira. I'm Austin Edemodo, NTA News.
Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has inaugurated the Edo State Boundary Committee with the charge to address intra- and interlocal government disputes. Goodluck Enaine reports that the State Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, is the chairman of the 13-member committee.
Obaseki said the state will no longer allow boundary disputes to cause communal conflicts as well as affect economic activities in the state. He said his administration has tried to get the National Boundary Commission to address intrastate boundary disputes, but to no avail, stressing that the longer the disputes were left untackled, the more lives and property will be lost.
The committee is also the one responsible for liaising with other such committees in neighboring states with a view to taking joint measures that will promote the good intercommunal relationship.
Chairman of the 13-man committee, Philip Shaibu, promised to justify the confidence reposed in them.
By the grace of God, we will discharge our duty to our best, and by the grace of God Himself, most, if not all, of the issues that affect boundary as it is in the world today.
With the inauguration of this committee, it is hoped that various boundary issues will be speedily addressed. In Benin, I am Goodluck Enaine, NTA News.
And wife of the governor, Mrs. Betsy Obaseki, is seeking more collaboration on training and knowledge sharing among stakeholders in the health sector and government at all levels to strengthen the sector. She was speaking during a stakeholders meeting on the prevention of neonatal deaths in the state. Goodluck Enaine again has the report.
Had stakeholders drawn from secondary and tertiary health institutions in the state and the World Health Organization were in Benin to discuss the way forward on how to implement the essential newborn care cost, an initiative of the federal government launched in 2016, geared towards reducing neonatal death in the country. Mrs. Obaseki said time has come for governments at all levels to step up action to reposition the sector.
Stakeholders meeting, there must be more than 31. Yes. I'm going to ask for a list of the names of everyone who's here and the telephone numbers.
Dr. Ikechukwu Okonkwo said Nigeria ranks second and first in infant mortality in the world, hence the need for all to rise up to the call. Other speakers at the event attributed the high rate of infant mortality in the country to lack of implementation of health policies. I am Goodluck Enaine, NTA News.
That's it from here. Back to you, Lydia, for more on Nationwide. Good evening.
Thank you, Agatha. Peace that hitherto eluded some communities in Niger State, ravaged by communal clashes between farmers and herdsmen, is gradually being reinstated. This followed Governor Abubakar Sani Bello's marching order directing the Office of the Nomadic Affairs created to quell all forms of conflict threatening the existing peace in the state and by extension the nation. Rose Gia is following up the conflict management strategies and now reports.
So far, 12 communities in 6 local government areas of Niger State have experienced communal clashes between farmers and herdsmen from 2009 to 2017. All these communities came under severe attacks and reprisals that led to destruction of lives and property. This informed the creation of the Office of Nomadic Affairs by the Governor Abubakar Sani Bello administration to get over these concerns through reconciliatory meetings, to which Abdullahi Adamu Babayo is leading the emissary as Director General. The Chiri peace talk, which was a litmus test, was a success as aggrieved parties resolved to shield swords and move on with their long-standing relationship.
But we are going to live in peace with Fulani people.
We are satisfied with the resolution.
and henceforth peace will ring in my surroundings.
Alhamdulillah, ba wani fushi ko na koma sai dai batun zaman lafiya.
Another conflict between farmers and herdsmen in Gurusu village, Boso local government area of the state, was averted by the traditional council that nipped it in the bud. Here, a farmer who acted on rumor and impulse and issued quit notice to herdsmen in the community was dragged before the district head of Boso Gabas for creating pandemonium.
Advise him, the farmers, no one should take the law into his hand. That is why we are here for them.
Something that can be solved within 2-3 minutes. When we let it happen, we'll be panicking for 20-30 days.
If other states they are able to imbibe this particular habit, we'll be talking about peace in Nigeria.
Aldo Abdullahi Babayo, who has been able to bring all existing Fulani associations under one umbrella to enhance peace and unity, says he is poised to put an end to the era of carrying AK-47 but return to the days of peaceful grazing and farming. This is a sensitization message the forum took to farmers and herdsmen in Mashegu local government area. He decried the issue of charge and bail, which results in herdsmen selling off their cattle to meet up, thereby resorting to stealing, kidnapping, and cattle rustling to survive. Rose Gia, NTA News.
37 female students in separate high institutions of learning, each from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, Abuja, are enjoying scholarship from an American-based organization. The focus, according to the sponsor, Nigerian Women Association of Georgia, is to end the rising wave of social vices caused by inadequate finances. Patricia Esami Luba has the details.
Lack of required financial support, especially to girls in achieving their academic goals, has forced many to make ends meet, which results to the ranking high prostitution in Nigeria's tertiary institutions. Suffice to say, therefore, to correct this glitch, the Nigerian Women Association of Georgia, NWAC, an American-based organization, has been offering female students scholarship and empowerment through skills acquisition. With an assessment based on their poor background and after being confirmed to be citizens or residents in Nigeria, as well studying as an undergraduate in any Nigerian tertiary institution or university, the student gets the primary selection grade.
I was in 100 level. It wasn't easy for my mom because she's the only one, and this scholarship has been helping me pay my school fees, accommodation.
The award is not, so it's not a token, it's something very important because financially I need some help.
OWAC say their focus is helping the female students achieve their academic pursuits with ease and be self-reliant. The presentation of 100,000 naira check for each of the 37 students coincides with donations to selected 12 homes for orphanages.
So one of the tasks we gave them during the workshop this morning was to come up with ideas of businesses you can start up with 25,000 naira. And there were loads and loads of ideas that they shared with each other. We also tried to encourage them to get to know one another. That strengthens the unity of Nigeria.
The little we have in America, we're giving back.
Over its 17 years of existence, OWAC said it has been committed to its quest, serving and empowering the Nigerian women and children, both home and abroad. In Abuja, Patricia A. Semiluba, NTA News.
More on education. As part of measures to ensure every child gets basic education in the Federal Capital Territory FCT, Secretary of Education has warned directors in the Secretariat to avoid extra budgetary spending, which has impeded the sector in the past. This was at a management meeting of the Secretariat in Abuja. Mitaire Ikwen reports.
With the increasing ratio of out-of-school children in the country, the FCT Education Secretariat is brainstorming on ways to curb the trend in the Federal Capital Territory. FCT Education Secretary Senator Issa Meina told his directors that financial prudence is the first step towards ensuring that more basic schools are provided in the face of lean resources from government.
I heard that some debt were settled and then they reoccur again and again and again, so we should as much as possible try to avoid that.
You made a budgetary provision for personnel costs of 27 billion. At the end of the year,
The actual payment made in Treasury is about 29 or 30 billion. What do we call that one?
Other resolutions reached at the meeting include the need for rehabilitation of dilapidated school facilities, as well as for training and retraining of teachers in FCT schools. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the NTA. Jennifer is standing by with the next set of reports in Lagos. It's over to you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Lydia. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has called on church leaders not to sit on the fence and criticize every decision taken by the government, but rather work towards contributing to the development of the country. The Vice President stated this while speaking at the Greater Nigeria Pastors Conference in Lagos. Ken Egbeluge has the report.
The convergence of church leaders irrespective of denomination. The aim was to discuss how the church can add value to the overall development of the country. The forum also provided an opportunity for Nigerians to rub minds with the Vice President towards charting a roadmap on how to resolve some national issues. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo took time to explain and correct some misconceptions raised by Christians. He enjoined Christians to unite and fight the monster called corruption.
Perhaps the most important problem is the failure of Christian leadership to take its rightful place. We have focused our minds on something we have described as the Islamic agenda. But where is the Christian agenda?
Other church leaders challenged Christians not to shy away from taking elective positions if they are to impact on the well-being of the country.
We must understand the Nigerian problem and its complexities and our pivotal role in it. We must stop becoming politically naive.
I want to challenge us in this meeting because our country must be great. Nigeria must change.
The reason we are gathered here today is to discuss how Nigeria can be exalted among the community of nations. And we have chosen the path of dialogue in a very open manner. How to make our nation great. What the church should be doing differently is our concern today.
The Greater Nigerian Pastors Conference is a non-governmental organization with a common purpose of uniting Christians towards contributing to national development. In Lagos, Ken Egbeluge, NTA News.
Now, the alleged kidnapper, Chukwudumeme Onwomadike, popularly known as Evans, is asking the Lagos High Court sitting at Igboshire, Lagos, to squash the charge brought against him by the Lagos State government for want of evidence. Justice Oluwatosi Taiwo of Lagos High Court Igboshire has fixed the 10th of November to deliver her ruling on the motion. Vera Chumuba tells us more.
Evans, the alleged kidnapper, is facing various charges bordering on conspiracy to commit kidnapping, and unlawful possession of firearms. Others are attempt to kidnap, sale and transfer of firearms and illegal possession. Evans' counsel Olukoya Ogungbeje, who is challenging the jurisdiction of the court, told the court that there is no sufficient evidence to sustain the charge and therefore no grounds for proceeding. He said apart from the information being a duplication, the DPP has no authorization from the AG Federation to AG Lagos State as stipulated by law on federal offenses to prosecute the offense. Ogungbeje, who is asking the court to quash the charges, said the DPP should separate the charges and wait for determination before proceeding with others. The Lagos State Director of Public Prosecution, Titilayo Shitabe, described the charges as misconceived and misinterpreted. She informed the court that sections 153 and 154 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act of Lagos State are clear on the issues. The DPP said the written statements of Evans, those of witnesses and direct circumstantial evidence are sufficient proof even where there is no scientific documentation. Shitabe also lifted a copy of the fiat obtained by the AG Federation to buttress her point. The DPP further argued that kidnapping by Evans at various times, places, different gangs, defendants, victims spanning so many years, with Evans the only common figure, The exercise does not, in the eyes of the law, amount to abuse or duplication of court process. Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo is expected to deliver her ruling on the argument put forward by the defense that information before Igboshere Court amounts to a repetition, duplication and abuse of court process, as same is pending before Justice Hakeem Oshodi of Ikeja Division of the Court on the defendant. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
Now, 161 Nigerians who are illegal migrants in Libya arrived at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, aboard Libya Airline Thursday night. Rotimi Oluwagbemi, who witnessed the arrival, reports that various government agencies in charge of migrants and internally displaced persons were on ground to receive them.
Among the returnees are 71 male adults and 78 females, 5 male children and 7 infants. The Zona Coordinator, Southwest National Emergency Management Agency, Suleiman Yakubu, and his counterparts from the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Margaret Ukebu, decried the rate at which Nigerians, especially youth, are endangering their lives in search of greener pasture in another country.
There's a particular section of leaders that is test, and who have been advised that more flights will be coming to ensure that all the illegal migrants come home well and alive.
Last week, we had more women than men, so we can see that this is a very, very, very dire problem that needs dire solution. And the Commissioner, the Honorable Federal Commissioner, has a plan for reintegration and durable solutions for these returning migrants. The
returnees, who were excited to be back home, spoke on their experiences in Libya.
They are maltreating us in 3-4 months. We are prison, locals. You can see my head. What they are taking care of for deportation camp is how life it is. If I bring my normal picture of our life, you see me.
Our boats, weather changed. So I am my baby and we are 3 out of 150. 3 of us survived.
The reintegration exercise is being supported by European Union. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
Now, those are the stories making the rounds in Lagos others are. Back to Lydia in Abuja for more on Nationwide. Lydia, over to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Now to security matters. Officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army have been implored to embrace the spirit of teamwork in the discharge of duty. The Director of Engineering Services in the Department of Army Headquarters Logistics, Brigadier General Kamaruddin Kadiri, stated this in Abuja at the end of this year's Skills and Arms competition of the Guards Brigade. The competition is essentially for female officers and soldiers. It is aimed at enhancing their mental skills and physique, which are part of knowledge they have acquired towards attaining high level of professionalism in line of their duty. The units that took part in the competition were divided into various teams. They are the 7th Guards Battalion 102 and 176 Guards Battalion, 177 Guards Battalion, and the Guards Brigade Garrison. Team B, comprising 102 and 176 Guards Battalion, emerged first position with 80 points.
Even though you are females, you have exempted a level of professionalism that I've witnessed today that surpasses most brigades that have witnessed their during competition.
The participants were charged to sustain their high-level performance as the Nigerian Army is poised to deliver on its core mandate. FRSC intensifies awareness and sensitization on road safety measures. Femichit in Jos brings us up to speed on this and other reports making the rounds in that zone. Over to you.
Welcome to Jos. The sum of 771 million naira, excluding infrastructure, has been expended by the federal government on the new national housing program in Plata State. Inspecting the extent of work done at the site in Jos East, the Minister of State, Works and Housing, Mr. Suleiman Hassan Zerma, said though work is progressing well, a lot more needs to be done by the contractor to enable people in Plata State benefit from the project. Red Lot has more.
Sited on a 5.04 hectare of land between Laminga neighborhood and Wayfield, the project is a 2-block of 1-bedroom semi-detached flat, 24 blocks of 2-bedroom semi-detached flats, and a 14-block of 3-bedroom semi-detached flats, totaling 40 blocks of semi-detached flats. Taking the minister around the various units, the federal controller supervising the project explains that since most of the blocks had been almost completed, the project will be completed by the end of 2017. The minister, who was warmly received, said having visited similar projects in Gombe and Bauchi states, he was impressed, assuring that government is doing its best to alleviate the housing needs of Nigerians. To make sure that we pay your place so that we deliver this project. One pressing concern expressed by residents of the area is the state of the road leading to the project site, and the minister had this to say. We will appeal to the states to help repair, to make it accessible for people. But I want to tell you that by the time we finish these houses and they are fully developed, they bring in some other developments. The project, which began January 2017, is to benefit every National Housing Fund contributor. From Laminga, Plateau State, Red Lot, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps and the National Orientation Agency are partnering to educate and enlighten road users on traffic rules and how to manage accidents when they occur. Abdul Wahab Babakanti reports that over 300 members of the War Against Indiscipline Corps were trained at the FRSC Plata Sector Command in Jos.
The synergy became necessary in the Ember month, believed to be an accident-prone period. The State Sector Commander of FRSC, Patricia Emodi, said road safety is everyone's business, hence the need for the collaboration and desire to take the advocacy to the grassroots so that a crash-free environment will be achieved.
We require everybody to be carried along in this business of keeping our roads safe.
The State Director of National Orientation Agency, Mr. Bulus Dabib, who presented a paper on conflict mitigation and road safety, said their target is to exemplify highway best practices, users of highways, and to establish how accident, misunderstandings, or conflicts can be avoided, also to suggest how this synergy between NOA and FRSC can mitigate such conflicts.
We have identified the fact that accidents could be triggers of violent conflict, and as part of our effort to build a people of peace in Nigeria within the Ember month, we expect that this synergy will ensure that we have a very peaceful Ember month and accident-free Ember months too.
The participants will, at the end of the exercise, have knowledge of the mode of operation of each agency for a successful implementation of policies. In Jos, Abdullah Babankanti, NTA News.
The Emir of Bauchi, Alhaji Rilwanu Adamu, described the newly introduced mass literacy program in English as a welcome development that will improve the literacy level of rural dwellers. The royal father was speaking when he received a delegation of the program who were on community mobilization to his palace. Babayo Tafida Misal reports that the project is an initiative of the National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education, implemented in 10 states of the Federation with support from UNICEF.
The Emir, while receiving the community mobilization team, expressed happiness that Bauchi State is among the 10 states that will benefit from the project, saying the Emirate Council will do everything possible to ensure its success. Alhaji Rilwanu Suleiman Adamu pledged to be part of the program and commended the agency for its efforts, adding that the program, if properly implemented, will go a long way in reducing to the barest minimum the rate of illiteracy in the society. The Zonal Coordinator, National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education, Mohamed Sani Musawa, and the Executive Secretary of the agency in the state, Hajia Yelwa Abubakar Tafawab Alewa, had earlier told the Emir that the program will be implemented in 4 local government areas of the state that include Bauchi, Toro, Darazau and Katagum. They therefore solicit for the support of the traditional institutions being custodians of the people towards ensuring success of the program.
This is the second lesson, and our teachers are also here. Teacher 1, Maria, and Teacher 2, Nana. Hello, I'm Teacher Maria. Welcome to today's lesson.
In Bauchi, Babette Fidemiso, NTA News.
And that does it from Jos. It's back to you, Lydia, in Abuja for more news.
Thank you very much. Nigerian surveyors are working out modalities to explore more possibilities in the mining sector in a bid to contribute its quota in the diversification policy of the federal government. This was during a lecture on the topic, Nigeria at 57, looking backwards to move forward. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu has that.
Surveying has been described as a mathematical science used to determine and delineate the form, extent and position of features on or beneath the surface of the earth. In Nigeria, surveyors have contributed significantly in the infrastructural development of the country as well as the mining sector. The 35th annual Olumide Memorial Lecture drew surveyors from the 30 states of the country who converge on Abuja to brainstorm and harmonize positions that will project activities of the profession to a greater height.
Surveyors give direction and give positions. It is because of that we have decided to go on an aggressive sensitization, enlightenment program so that people will know the imminent role that the surveyor plays in the economy.
And we can see that the sector is now booming up, and I believe in the course of years to come, it will be a pivotal source.
Guest lecturer Professor Stephen Adebanji Akintoye x-rayed the journey of Nigeria 57th anniversary, said social justice, equity and respect for one another should be maintained for the unity and progress of the country.
And if this trouble is successfully contained, the country can achieve long-lasting stability and mutual love, and can succeed, prosper, and become a great country in the world.
The annual Olumide Memorial Lecture is celebrated every year to immortalize the pioneer president of the institution. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyaku, NTA News.
As part of efforts to address the prevalence of breast cancer, the Ogun State government, through the Uplift Development Foundation, has commenced free lumpectomy surgery for 110 women having lumps in their breasts. Correspondent Lukman Adefesho reports that wife of the state governor, Mrs. Olufunsho Amosun, said 2,700 women were screened in the 3rd edition of the annual program.
The ongoing free lumpectomy surgery embarked upon by the Uplift Development Foundation will be conducted on 110 women who have lumps in their breast out of the 2,700 women that were screened. The wife of the Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Olufunsho Amosun, who is also the founder of the initiative, stated that the foundation embarked on breast cancer awareness campaign 6 years ago.
Senator Ibikuli Amosun has come to our aid and said to us that any lump that is discovered during the screening exercise in the month of October, that the state government will bear the cost.
Mrs. Amosun noted that Uplift Foundation, through collaboration with the Ogun State government, have been able to reduce and educate people on the causes and prevention of the disease, and lots of women with breast lumps have benefited from the surgery. She, however, enjoined women to visit any of the 3 cancer centers across the state for screening. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Babatunde Ipaye, and a surgeon, Dr. Stella Ogumiwa, speak further on the breast lump excision exercise.
107 women were discovered to have breast lumps. Then 18 women have outright cancer of the breast.
The exercise is still ongoing at the Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital, Shagamu.
Let's join Nancy Godi Aninihu for reports on the international scene.
We begin on the African continent. Kenyan Election Commission says fewer than 34% of registered voters took part in Thursday's rerun presidential poll. This is a sharp drop from the 80% of voter turnout in the first election. Opposition leader Raila Odinga had called on his supporters to boycott the poll, saying it will not be free and fair. 2 people were reportedly killed in violence and many others wounded in opposition stronghold. A French court has handed down a 3-year suspended jail term to Equatorial Guinea's Vice President Teodoron Obiang for corruption. The 48-year-old, known for his lavish lifestyle, is son of the oil-rich West African country's president. In a related development, a court has ruled that Australian Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce and 4 other politicians were wrongly elected because they had dual citizenship. The implication is that the Prime Minister and the politicians quit office. The Deputy Prime Minister, who renounced New Zealand citizenship in August, has pledged to recontest his lower house seat. And on a happy note, a team of 30 medical doctors at an Indian state hospital successfully separated 2-year-old twin boys, Jaga and Kyla, co-joined at the heads in a surgery that lasted 16 hours. What a feat in life-saving. That's it from here.
Thanks, Nancy. Next, sports. British professional boxer of Nigerian descent, Anthony Joshua, relishes the chance of becoming the first man to hold all 4 heavyweight world titles, as victory over Carlos Takam in Cardiff Saturday will open talks of unifying the WBC and WBO titles. George Gift brings us our guide on Sports Update.